We are going to sign and trade LeBron back to Cleveland, working with him to facilitate it as Cleveland cannot outright sign him. They don't have cap space, so they cannot sign LeBron to the contract that he would want. So we're going to sign and trade him for roughly 20 million-ish per year, whatever they could afford or whatever they could work out together. But we are not going to take back Jarrett Allen. He's going to be a part of the trade, but we are going to make this a 3-team trade, sending Jarrett Allen to a cap space team like Chicago, a team that does not have a center at the moment. No, he probably wouldn't be a long-term fit there, but they could get him and then move him again maybe at the deadline, get more assets from him, and maybe throw in a second-round pick their way, maybe getting another second-round pick our way to facilitate the LeBron trade. But the main point of this is to facilitate it and get our cap space eventually, and then getting back a guy like Dean Wade, a big 3-and-D wing that is only 29 years old, a guy that they've reportedly had interest in. I would definitely have interest here once again. You know, maybe not the flashy player or a big name player, but he is 6'9", sporting a 6'11" wingspan, is a very versatile, committed defender, able to guard and match up 1 through 4, sometimes even 1 through 5 in a very small ball lineup. And no, he doesn't put up many points per game, only 5.8 per game this season, then with 4.2 rebounds per game, 1.5 assists per game, but he is a good 3-point shooter, isn't the highest volume shooter, but is a fairly efficient 37% career 3-point shooter, even better from the corner, and mainly here for the defense. His switch ability, his commitment, his height and length to go with it, that would be the primary point. Getting Dean Wade and a second-round draft pick via the Chicago Bulls. Now if you want to, you can throw in more draft compensation where you might see fit, whether it be Cleveland, Chicago, the Lakers, whoever might have to dish out more or get more in return, whatever. The primary point here is LeBron going to Cleveland, Jarrett Allen for a salary dump via Cleveland to Chicago, and then Dean Wade via sign and trade back to the purple and gold. And with that in mind, now moving on to free agency where we do have cap space. After we traded LeBron, we moved on from that cap hold and therefore got our cap space. And we will enter free agency with roughly $56.8 million in projected cap space, which is definitely enough to sign a free agent like Peyton Watson, and not only sign him but steal him away from the Denver Nuggets. Something that's been talked about a lot, something that I've been talking about for roughly half a year now. We are definitely going to look into this. I mean, for me, this is definitely my ideal offseason, signing a guy like Peyton Watson, using our cap space to get a guy like him, taking him away from a conference opponent while doing it. Yeah, that's definitely a good idea in my opinion. With him only being 23, a very athletic 3-and-D wing that put up 15 per game this season. Yes, 30 million per year, which is what we're going to sign it for, might be a lot, but the fact that he's only 23 again, maybe on the cusp of a true breakout, already had a mini breakout, and definitely has a lot of untapped potential yet, I think it would be worth it. Again, not only 23 years old, but already had a mini breakout, 15 points per game on 40% 3-point shooting. If you can get 15 to 20 per game in the future from him, with 38% plus 3-point shooting, and his ability to guard and matchup 1 through 4, with the very good help side rim protection with it, I think that will be a perfect fit with Luka Doncic. So at that point, can you really complain about 30 million per year, which is not even half a max salary at this point? I don't think you really can. Yes, it might be a lot, but you're gonna have to overspend to get a guy like him. Not simply an unrestricted free agent, but a restricted one that you do have to steal away. So in my opinion, that's probably what it would take, and I think it would be worth it. But regardless of how you feel about that, we are going to make that move. We are going to sign Peyton Watson, and afterwards, we have roughly $26.8 million in cap space left. And we are going to put 12.6 of it towards signing Quentin Grimes. Maybe a little bit of a shocker, but after last summer in which he tried to get 20 to 25 million per year, which obviously did not happen, he is probably looking at taking a big discount, or maybe a more deserved price. And he's definitely going to want a longer term contract, isn't going to want to do a prove it kind of 1-year deal again. So I think he might take something like a 3-year, 40 million-ish kind of contract. Again, 12.6 in year number 1, with a 5% annual raise after that. I mean, even after the comments and what he tried to be worth, he still put up 13, 4, and 3 last season, is a 37% career 3-point shooter, very good defender, at least when committed, can be a 3-and-D wing, only 26 years old yet, played with Luka Doncic back in Dallas. I think he'd be a good fit for that price. Now would it maybe take a little bit more than that to get him? Maybe, maybe not, who knows, but again we are doing a perfect offseason here. with some optimism added in. So that's free agent move number 2. And then for our third and final one, we are going to re-sign Jackson Hayes to a 2-year, $8 million-ish kind of contract. In my opinion, he deserved it. He was one of, if maybe not one of the best backup big men in the entire NBA last season. So we're going to give him a slight raise. We're going to bring him back for the elite lob threat ability, the two-man connection with Luka Doncic. They've expressed that they like playing with each other. Heck, Hayes even got a Slovenian citizenship, so he can play with Luka Doncic internationally too. I think that says everything that you need to know. I think they're going to bring him back, so we're going to follow suit. We're signing him to a 2-year, $8 million-ish kind of contract, meaning $4 million per year, if that wasn't clear. And then after that, we do have some cap space left, but we're not going to sign a free agent with it. We're going to make a trade with it, meaning that we're going to take back more money than we're sending out. And we're going to make a trade with the Pelicans, offering the combination of LaRavia, Bronny, and a future first-round draft pick for Herb Jones and Yves Missi. Yes, maybe a combination that might be hard to get, but following a down year for Herb Jones, in fact a really bad year for him, averaging under 10 points per game, shooting under 31% from 3, even being a bit injured again, I think they'll be lucky to get a first-round pick for him. So we are going to offer that, but with a guy like Yves Missi as well. Someone else that they've kind of given up on, even DNP'd him a bit last season, but for a 22-year-old big, a 22-year-old rim-protecting, rim-running lob threat, a guy that blocked 2.4 shots per 36 minutes last season, I think he'd be a great fit. I'm definitely not giving up on him. In fact, I think he has a lot of untapped potential, and he is continually getting stronger. I mean, from 220 in his final college year to 235 last season, I think he can and will continue to bulk up. And really leaning into that youth movement, we have a 22-year-old Yves Missi, we have a 25-year-old Jackson Hayes, and a 22-year-old Terrace Reed Jr. for a center rotation. Which, yes, might be a little bit lacking in veteran background, but if we would need to make a trade yet, a further trade, maybe at the deadline we could trade Yves Missi with the first-round draft pick that we have left to be traded. Obviously if we would have to. But in my opinion, that's not a bad center rotation. Yves Missi, Jackson Hayes, and Terrace Reed Jr. to build around and for Luka Doncic to play with. All three of which are lob threats, all three of which are athletic, good rim protecting centers. That I think would be a decent option for their team. And there's not really much better in free agency. Either taking a bet on Rob Williams or Mitchell Robinson, both of which are pretty injury prone albeit good fits, that would be the alternative. We're going to go with the youth movement and the lob threats to put around Luka Doncic. And then for Herb Jones again, pairing him with Peyton Watson, I mean, imagine that defensive combination. Two guys that can guard and switch 1 through 4, two very committed defenders, at least when they want to be, and two guys that have shown the ability to definitely be 3-and-D plus kind of guys, meaning that they can do the defense and the versatile defense, but also put up between 10 to 15 plus per game for Watson, even 10 to 12 per game for Herb. I think that would be a great combination. Peyton Watson being 23, Herb still being only 27, that could be a great long-term fit for two wings beside Luka Doncic. Now again, it might take a little bit more than one first-round pick, but that'll be the baseline package. LaRavia, Bronny, and unprotected first for Herb Jones and Yves Missi. So after that, we don't have much left to work with. All we have left is the room exception, which is a variant of the mid-level exception, worth $9.4 million next season, and we're going to use that to bring back Marcus Smart. Bring back our veteran leader for this season, who definitely played a big role for this team. Defensively took on the toughest matchup, proved to be very good on defense yet, offensively put up 9 to even 13 points per game in the postseason, at moments had some great highs but some low lows. Regardless, I think he'd be a very good fit, and he definitely would be worth bringing back. And with the room exception, we can offer it up to a 3-year contract, so that would be the benefit for him here. Rather than taking maybe a bloated 1-year contract, we could offer something like a 3-year, 30 to 32 million-ish kind of contract, and I think he probably would take it. Barring a different team offering him a much bigger contract, which I guess could happen but hopefully not, that might be his best offer from a true contender. So for Marcus Smart and coming back to the team that actually gave him a chance to get back to what he was, I think there's some good connection here. After that, all we have is veteran minimum contracts, and for one of them, we are going to sign Matisse Thybulle, a guy that's coming off a couple injury-prone years. Yes, he played very good when healthy, but that was very sparingly. Only playing in 30 games last season or this season, playing in under 15 the year before. All around, I think he might have to take a veteran minimum to reprove that he can stay healthy. But when he was healthy, he was still very good, averaging over 2 steals per game in the limited playing time that he got, roughly 5 of them per 36 minutes, yes, 5 of them. Along with that, shot well from the 3-point line, albeit on a fairly limited volume. I would definitely take a chance on him for a veteran minimum contract. After that, another guy to take a chance on would be Keon Ellis, somebody that they had interest in and eventually did not get, but he got traded to a team that once again benched him. Much like in Sacramento, the Cleveland Cavaliers gave up on him, benching him in favor of other guys that haven't done much more, but it's definitely taken away value from Keon Ellis, and to the point where he might have to take a veteran minimum too. And if it would come to that, I would definitely take a chance on him. Yeah, you can argue if you would take it, if either him or Matisse Thybulle would have to take a veteran minimum, but that's what I'm hoping for. And then last but not least, the final big move that's not an outside move, we're going to bring back Austin Reaves. We still have the cap hold, we still have the money to sign him, it doesn't take any cap space because he's our own free agent, which we have full bird rights to. We are going to sign him to a 4-year, $120 million-ish kind of deal. Roughly 30 to 35 plus million per year, eventually throughout that 4-year time frame. I think that would be a fair offer for Reaves. And for him to come back to this team, a team that's added Peyton Watson, Herb Jones, Dean Wade, Matisse Thybulle, Yves Missi, guys like that who would definitely take a load off of him defensively, and coming back to play with Luka, I think that would be a no-brainer. In my opinion, it's gonna happen whether you like it or not. He definitely would be worth 30 to 35 million. I mean, if you say he wouldn't, then you're saying he isn't worth what guys like Tyler Hero, Jeremy Grant, so on and so forth, guys like that are making, and he is much better than them. So in my opinion, that would be an absolute no-brainer, and really the cherry on top to a team that we definitely changed up a lot. You know, unfortunately we couldn't bring back LeBron, but we did benefit from it with a sign and trade, getting back Dean Wade, and some cap space. Unfortunately not getting back Rui Hachimura. You know, I tried to make him work in this, but I simply couldn't find a way to do it that would realistically work. Always came up about $3 to $5 million short of what he'd likely would get. Even if you take a massive discount and take what we gave to Quentin Grimes, probably wouldn't be very likely. And not to mention with the trade for Herb Jones and signing Peyton Watson, that would mean that he would have to come off the bench, which he probably wouldn't do for both that and taking a discount. So in my opinion, if we're moving on from LeBron and then building a team around Luka Doncic and Austin Reaves, this would be my favorite variant of it. Signing Peyton Watson, trading for a guy like Herb Jones, and signing and trading LeBron while getting back a guy like Dean Wade, adding a ton of two-way talent, a ton of 3-and-D talent around Luka and Austin. That would be the best way to maximize this team. Unfortunately, we don't have a more proven center, but again, with a tradable first-round draft pick left, with a lot of untapped potential though from Yves Missi and a guy like Terrence Reed who we drafted, we do have the ability to upgrade, but we might not need it. I like Yves Missi. I think he has the ability to be a starting level center, if not by next season. On top of that, we have a great proven backup in Jackson Hayes, a guy that's proven to fit. And then we have a draft pick like Terrence Reed, if you'd fall to 38 again. That definitely could be a very good backup, if maybe not a starter in the future as well. So in my opinion, a lot better than you think and all around a very well-rounded team. From Peyton Watson, Herb Jones, Quentin Grimes, Dean Wade, obviously Luka Doncic, Austin Reaves, and even guys like Leonard Miller who we got in a trade as well. Even our veteran minimums like Thybulle and Ellis. I like this team a lot. But with that in mind, what do you guys think? How would you feel about this kind of team if the Lakers would trade LeBron? If they would sign and trade him back to Cleveland, getting back Dean Wade, and then filling out their team with cap space after that point? What would you do and how would it compare to what I did? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But I think that'll pretty much do it for this one, and if you enjoyed the video, then I would greatly appreciate it if you dropped a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching, and have a great day or night.